Are you ready for part 2? I said, are you ready for part 2? Okay, here it is. So yes, this is part 2. Finally, after a long time. So if you're new here, I suggest you go watch part 1. The link will be in the description and in the top corner. So this all starts at a karate class in a church basement. My sensei learned that my dad played bass and thought, maybe I can use this man for a specific band. So, would you like to be a bass player for a little band we have at the church and do a healing service? And my dad said, I don't know if I would work because I'm in the metal and if I would be a good fit to it. But my sensei did mention a few metal people who did Christian music that my dad had heard of, and that made him change his mind. So the first night we went up to the choir loft, this is what was up there. 2 guitarists, 3 singers, and a drummer. So nothing out of the ordinary. The drummer was not good friends with us, and we'll call him Drew. Drew was an older man, and he wasn't a nice one. He was one of them who would just say hi, but not in a nice type of way. He really didn't like us a lot, and I didn't remember why, so I asked my parents, and my parents gave me different options on it. But let's just say that he didn't like the way that my sensei played guitar, and let's say my sensei was good at guitar, but he wasn't the best at it, but he was still good. Also, Drew was the altar boy, so most nights he couldn't be the drummer, so my mom had to replace him when he couldn't be there. But then my mom had to work, so she couldn't make it. Then my sensei came to me, knowing that I knew how to quote-unquote drum, gave me drumsticks and said, you, play the drums tonight. Now I was in 6th grade, and I mainly knew how to keep a straight beat. So being behind the drum set, I had no clue how to use it for the first few months. I just used the tom because it sounded the best to me. But over time I got better. And now we have a new person who didn't like us. We'll call her Miss Control. Now she was this old woman who looked nice and sounded nice, but she had a lot of problems with me, my family, and the band. Because she is the one in charge and wants things her way. So you might be thinking, okay, so what did she do? Well, first, we were playing a mass and we looked down from the choir loft and we saw her stomping her feet in an aggressive way. And we looked at each other like, okay, what's our problem? Another time, we were doing a mass and I was playing the drums following my sensei, and she came up to the choir loft and whispered in my ear, the instruments are too loud. Pause. Okay, first, do you see me playing the drums? I can't do anything with the way the instruments sound. Plus, I don't know how to work a monitor. If you have a problem with that, my dad knows how to do it. Plus, we are doing a mass right now, so you might as well wait. Before you guys say, well, why didn't you talk to the priest about this? Okay, sit down, it's gonna get good. So whenever these two came to us with problems, we would go to the priest about this and ask the problems that they told us, but he would say that there's nothing wrong. It's perfectly good. Did you get that? He said it was good. No problem whatsoever. So these two were just complaining and trying to bother us a lot, and we thought that this would be a way to make us leave. Now this next thing goes back to Drew. This one time my sensei messed up a part to the second to last song. And 3 months later, we were doing a mass, playing music, and Drew came to the choir loft and called my mom over to tell her something, which we all heard because he yelled it across the church. If you guys mess up the second to last song one more time, I'm going to throw you all off the balcony. He actually said that. Something that happened 3 months ago. We make mistakes. You're a musician. You should understand. We make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect every freaking time. But we didn't say anything. We just stayed silent. But inside, we were all mad. But after the service ended, my sensei took his glasses off, his necklace, and his watch, and went to go talk to Drew. You could hear them throughout the entire church. I don't know how they settled it, but they settled it, I guess. Now this last one was messed up. There was this bazaar, and we were going to play there. So we got the van packed and ready to go. We got to the bazaar, and me and my mom went to see where we would set up. They said we could set up now, so we went ahead and set up. But then someone else told us that we weren't on for the bazaar. So we're like, okay. And we intended to put the musical stuff back in the van. But then the priest came and said, wait, where are you going? We thought we weren't on for the bazaar. No, you are. Okay. And we would set up the equipment again. But this went on all day, back and forth, back and forth. You're on, no you're not. You're on, no you're not. Plus, it was only me and my parents. My sensei had to do a class, so we had to deal with this constant back and forth stuff all day. So we finally came and we finally got things straight. But we didn't have a motherboard because we thought that they would have one, but they didn't. So we could hook up our equipment to hear each other, but we couldn't. And we forgot my mom's drum pad, so we had to get the bongos from the choir loft, and the bongos kept tumbling down the stairs. And as we finally got to where we were about to play, my sensei, who had the lyrics in front of him, said this. How does the song go? Are you kidding me? Okay, I get that there's brain fart or throwing a blank, but you wrote it. How could you not know it? And me and my parents know this song. How could you forget? We went through the bazaar and put the equipment back in the van, and we went home literally exhausted. So even though I talked a lot about the church and Drew and Miss Control, I did learn from being in a band how to set up the equipment, how to work with the band, how to deal with people who don't like it. Also, there was one good person we met at the church. She was the lady who sang with us during the mass, but she sadly moved away, but we still keep in contact with her. Plus, we don't go to that church anymore. We go somewhere else, and it's a lot better and nice.